You are 24 years old. You have $340 in your checking account. Not because anything went wrong this month. Nothing went wrong. This is just where the month ends. Rent, food, phone bill, a few things you don't even remember buying. And $340. There's no emergency, no crisis, but there's also no cushion. And somewhere in the back of your mind, not loud, not dramatic, just quietly sitting there, is the awareness that if something happened right now, you would not be okay. That feeling has a name. Most people just call it normal. But what you don't know yet is that feeling isn't permanent. It's a level, and there are levels above it that feel completely different. Not just financially, emotionally. The way you wake up in the morning, the way you make decisions, the way money occupies or stops occupying, your thoughts. This is what each level actually feels like. Not the numbers alone, the life inside the numbers. You work, you pay bills. You sometimes save a little, then spend it when something comes up. Your apartment is fine, not bad, not good. It's the place you landed when you needed a place. The furniture mostly came from other people's moves. There's a noise from the heating unit you've stopped noticing. You check your bank account more than you'd like to admit. Sometimes right after buying something, as if checking will change the number. It never does. You know roughly what's in there. Within about $50. That accuracy isn't skill. It's survival. This is level 1. Level 1. $0 to $5,000. At this level, money controls your mood without asking permission. A $400 car repair doesn't just cost $400, it costs a week of low-grade anxiety before it happens, the actual money when it does, and then a quiet reorganization of everything else that month. Dinner out gets skipped. A thing you wanted gets delayed. The math gets done in your head at 11 p.m. You're not broke in the way people mean when they say the word dramatically. You're just close. Close to the edge of what you can handle. And that closeness is constant. The first rule of money isn't about investing or saving or any system. It's simpler than that. When the gap between your income and an emergency is 0, every decision carries weight it shouldn't have to carry. Buying groceries becomes a small calculation. Saying yes to a wedding across the country becomes a problem. Your financial life is not giving you room to think about anything else. This is the level most people start at. A lot of people stay here longer than they planned. Level 2. $5,000 to $25,000. Something shifts when you cross $5,000. It doesn't feel like wealth. It doesn't look like anything from the outside. But internally, something loosens. The $400 car repair is still annoying. But it doesn't rearrange your week anymore. It's just a thing that happened. You're 27 now. You make $52,000 a year. You've been more deliberate. Not perfect, but deliberate. You stopped letting the end of the month be a surprise. You have $9,000 saved. It took about 2 years to get there. The anxiety isn't gone, but it's quieter. There's a version of you that used to open your banking app with a kind of dread. That version is fading, slowly. At this level, you start making slightly better decisions, not because you're smarter, but because you're not in survival mode anymore. When you're not constantly reacting, you can occasionally plan. That's the difference. You're not comfortable yet, but you can see what comfortable might feel like. That visibility changes something. Level 3, $25,000 to $100,000. You are 31. You make $68,000 a year. You have $41,000 spread between a savings account and a retirement fund you started contributing to at 28, because someone mentioned the match and you finally listened. Options start appearing at this level. Not big, dramatic options, small ones, the kind that feel significant because they weren't available before. You can say no to overtime you don't want. You can take a trip without it being a financial event for the rest of the quarter. When a better job offer comes, you can actually consider it, instead of just taking whatever pays more right now because you need it to. The second rule of money is this. The purpose of savings is not the number. It's the options the number creates. At $41,000, you have options a version of you at $340 couldn't have imagined. Not freedom, not yet. But the early shape of it, there's still a ceiling. You still feel the limits, but they're further away now. And further away changes how you move through daily life in ways that are hard to explain to someone who's never felt it. You are 35. The decisions are bigger now. You're thinking about a house, about whether your job is where you want to stay, about what the next 10 years look like. Not in an abstract way, but in a real way that requires actual numbers and actual choices. You have $112,000 in net worth. Some of it is invested. Some is saved. The invested portion is doing something on its own now. You check it, but not with the same frequency you used to check your checking account. The relationship to that number is different. It doesn't feel like survival money, it feels like something growing. This is the moment the game changes. Not because of the number specifically, but because of what the number is doing. At every level before this, money was something you gathered and protected. Now it's something that participates. It shows up to the work even when you don't. That shift in how money functions changes how you think about time. You start calculating things differently. Not how much can I save this month, but what is this decision worth in 10 years? The time horizon extends. The math changes. You change. Level 4. $100,000 to $500,000. You are 40. The number that once seemed impossible, 6 figures, is behind you now. You have $280,000 in total net worth. The house has equity. The investments have compounded quietly for over a decade. The retirement account has a comma in it. Money is not absent from your thoughts, but it is no longer the first thought. That's the thing no one told you about this level. It's not that you become rich. It's that money stops being the background noise of every single day. You sleep differently, not because of the number, because of what the number represents. A kind of distance between you and catastrophe that you spent your entire 20s without. You still work. You still make decisions carefully, but the decisions feel different. There's less desperation in them, less reaction. When something goes wrong, and things still go wrong, it's a problem, not a crisis. That distinction, problem versus crisis, is quiet but enormous. You are 46. Your net worth is somewhere above $500,000. You stopped tracking it obsessively a few years ago, not because you became careless, because you stopped needing the number to tell you how you were doing. Something happened that you didn't expect. Money, the pursuit of it, the protection of it, the constant low-level management of it, stopped being the organizing principle of your daily life. It got replaced by something else. Time, how you spend it, who you spend it with, what you're building and why. You remember being 24 with $340? You remember checking the account right after buying something? You remember the heating unit noise and the furniture from other people's moves? You remember the feeling, not dramatic, just constant, that you were one unexpected thing away from a real problem. That version of you wasn't failing. That version of you was at a real level with a real ceiling and a real floor, and you moved through it. Not because of one decision, not because of a single moment of discipline or sacrifice, because of dozens of small quiet choices made in ordinary months that didn't feel significant when you made them. The shift isn't financial. That's what takes years to understand. The shift is in how money sits in your mind. At level 1, it's a presence, constant, slightly heavy. At level 5, it's a tool, something you use and set down. The weight doesn't disappear. It just becomes proportionate. You're somewhere on this scale right now. Maybe you know exactly where. Maybe you're somewhere between levels and the edges feel blurry. Maybe the number in your account tonight is not where you thought you'd be at this age. All of that is real, but the levels are also real. The differences between them are real, and the distance from one to the next is not as fixed as it feels from the inside. The heating unit still makes that noise for a while, and then, quietly, one ordinary month, it doesn't anymore.